7.2, Part B. We're going to find a rule when we're given two terms. And we're going to use this rule that you've already been given in section 1. So we have a sub 8, and we're going to say that's equal to that rule. So a sub 1 plus d, but instead of saying n minus 1, we know what n is because it's 8. And we're going to do the same thing for a sub 27. A sub 1 plus d, and instead of writing n is 27. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to treat this like the elimination method that you've already learned in algebra. And what we're going to do is we're going to subtract. We're going to take the difference of these two things. But before we do that, we have to plug in numbers here. So our a sub 8, if you notice, is 21. So instead of writing 21, or a sub 8, I'm going to put 21. And we can also do that for a sub 27. So a sub 27 is 97, and that's going to go right there. And if you also notice, we know what 8 minus 1 is. That is 7. So I'm going to write this as 7d. And down here we have 27 minus 1, so that's going to be 26d. And now what I can do is subtract these. So 21 minus 97 is negative 76. Now, if you notice when you subtract these are what is eliminating, and that's good. Now we have 7 minus 26, and that's going to give us a negative 19d. So all we have to do really is just solve for d by dividing both sides by negative 19. So d is going to equal a positive 4. Okay, so now over here in our rule that we need to come up with, this is going to be a 4. Now the only thing we're missing, because we want it to be n minus 1, remember we're writing a rule, so n just stays put. We need this first term. So if we take one of these equations, the first or the second, it doesn't matter, we're going to solve for a sub 1 by plugging what we just found in for d. So I'm going to do that in blue so we don't get confused here. So I'm just going to take the first one, I guess. So we have 21 equals a sub 1 plus 7d. Well, d is 4. Okay, so we have 21 a sub 1 plus 7 times 4, which is 28. And so if we subtract 28 on both sides, we now have a sub 1, and that's negative 7. So now we have a sub 1. So we're going to write our rule out entirely. We have negative 7 plus 4, and then n minus 1. And there's our rule. Next, we're going to find the sum of the arithmetic series. Remember in section 1, we had to go through and plug in 10 for I, and plug in, well, I was actually starting at 1, so we plugged in 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 10, and we had to add them all. That's fine, and if you like doing that, that's okay. You go right on ahead. But I'm going to show you a shortcut that you can use to make this process a little easier. And we're going to use this rule right here. So the only thing we really need to know is our a sub 1. So our first term, but you can look that a sub 1, we're going to start with 1. So if we just solve this, when we plug 1 in, this is really 1 plus 3. Well, that's 4. So 4 is going to go where this a sub 1. Okay, now if you look at a sub n, that's just going to tell us where we stop. So our n in this case is 10. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do 1 plus 3 times 10. And when you calculate that out, it gives you 31. So over here, we have plus 31. And of course, that's being divided by 2. And n in this case, like I said, was 10. So we're going to put a 10 out here. So now you just simplify this. We have 4 plus 31, which is 35. We're going to take 35 and divide it by 2. That's 17.5. And we're going to times it by 10. So 175. So if you did go through and do all of these all the way up to 10 and add them all together, you would get 175. This is just a shortcut.